Some cars blend into the traffic, unnoticed, until you challenge them. Then, in a flash, they unleash raw power, leaving everything in the dust. These are sleeper cars, ordinary on the outside, unstoppable under the hood. Join us as we take a look through 9 unknown sleeper cars of the 1960s. 1964 Buick Skylark Grand Sport. At first glance, the Skylark Grand Sport looks like your average mid-sized coupe. Clean lines, chrome trim, and a comfortable ride. But underneath, Buick has stuffed a massive 401 cubic inch V8 into its mid-sized body, transforming it into an unexpected powerhouse. With 325 horsepower and 445 foot-pounds of torque, this car could go from 0 to 60 in approximately 7.8 seconds and reach a top speed of around 115 miles an hour. Want to know something even more impressive? This car had more muscle than a Pontiac GTO or an Oldsmobile 442, proving that Buick could play with the best. While it didn't dominate drag strips, it was a highway menace, effortlessly swallowing up miles with smooth, relentless torque. Fun fact, the Grand Sport was one of the first production cars to feature a factory-installed performance package, which included a high-performance engine, transmission, and suspension. This package was designed to give the Skylark a competitive edge on the track and on the street. Impressive, sure, but get ready to get left in the dust by a car that's so understated, it's almost invisible. 1966 Studebaker Daytona Sports Sedan. Most people wouldn't expect a Studebaker to be fast, but this one was an absolute beast in disguise. The Daytona Sports Sedan came with a Studebaker-built 283 cubic inch V8, giving it surprising performance for its time. With 225 horsepower and 285 foot-pounds of torque, this car could go from 0 to 60 in approximately 10.5 seconds and reach a top speed of around 105 miles an hour. Despite Studebaker's decline, this car stood out as one of its final gems, a rare and underrated sleeper from a company that had once dominated the American roads. It's a testament to the ingenuity of Studebaker's engineers, who managed to squeeze impressive performance out of a relatively small engine. The Daytona Sports Sedan was also one of the last Studebaker models to feature a Studebaker-built engine. After 1966, Studebaker began using Chevrolet engines in their cars, marking the end of an era for the company's iconic V8s. Neat stuff. But deep in the heart of America, where the roads are long and the speed limits are low, there's a car that's waiting to unleash its fury on the open road. 1969 Chevrolet Kingswood 396 wagon. A 9-passenger station wagon with a 396 cubic inch V8? That's about as sleeper as it gets. This car was the ultimate family car turned street killer, with no stripes, no badges, and a quiet exhaust. But don't let its unassuming appearance fool you. This car packed 325 horsepower and 420 foot-pounds of torque, making it capable of going from 0 to 60 in approximately 7.5 seconds and reaching a top speed of around 120 miles an hour. Most muscle car drivers wouldn't even glance at a Kingswood at a stoplight, until it left them staring at its tailgate. It's a reminder that sometimes the most unlikely cars can pack the biggest punch. And the '69 Kingswood wagon was one of the first production cars to feature a big block V8 engine in a station wagon body. This combination of power and practicality made the Kingswood a favorite among families who needed a car that could haul people and cargo, but still wanted to have some fun on the weekends. Nice. But in a world where style and speed reign supreme, there's a car that's the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. A car that looks like grandma's old ride, but can leave even the fastest sports cars in the dust. 1963 Pontiac Tempest Le Mans 326. Pontiac's early muscle car experiment, the Tempest Le Mans 326, looked mild, but packed a hidden performance punch. With 225 horsepower and 352 foot-pounds of torque, this car could go from 0 to 60 in approximately 8 seconds and reach a top speed of around 110 miles an hour. This car was actually a stepping stone toward the muscle car era, and while it didn't get the same love as the GTO, it laid the groundwork for what was to come. It's a testament to Pontiac's commitment to building high-performance cars that could handle the demands of the open road. The Le Mans 326 was one of the first production cars to feature a 4-barrel carburetor, which allowed for more efficient fuel delivery and increased power output. This innovation helped to establish Pontiac as a leader in the muscle car market. Oh, but bad boys better watch out, cause picture this. A car that's so fast, it can outrun most sports cars. And it's a police car. 1968 Mercury Monterey 428 Police Interceptor. Most people wouldn't expect a big Mercury sedan to be fast, but the Monterey Police Interceptor was built to chase down anything on the highway. With 345 horsepower and 459 foot-pounds of torque, this car could go from 0 to 60 in approximately 6.5 seconds and reach a top speed of around 125 miles an hour. Yeah, try outrunning that with most cars of the time. Missouri State Highway Patrol used these Mercuries to catch speeders who thought they could outrun a cop car. For a brief time, this was the king of highway chases, a car that could keep up with even the fastest traffic offenders. The Interceptor was one of the first production cars to feature a police package, which included a high-performance engine, transmission, and suspension, as well as specialized equipment such as police radio and sirens. A package designed to give law enforcement agencies a competitive edge on the road. What you gonna do when they come for you? Now imagine a car that's so fast, it's a car that's almost forgotten by history. 1962 Ford Galaxie 500 XL 406. Before the legendary 427, Ford introduced the 406 cubic inch V8, and it was a serious contender. With 385 horsepower and 448 foot-pounds of torque, this car could go 0 to 60 in approximately 6 seconds and reach a top speed of around 130 miles an hour. This full-sized Ford was a legit street bruiser, but Ford's marketing was focused elsewhere, and it never got the attention it deserved. But that just made it even better at being a sleeper, a car that could surprise even the most seasoned muscle car enthusiasts. The Galaxie 406 was also one of the first production cars to feature a tri-power carburetor setup, which consisted of 3 two-barrel carburetors. This innovative design allowed for increased power output and improved fuel efficiency. That's cool and all, but now picture a car that's so powerful it can leave even the fastest sports cars in the dust, and it's a car that's almost impossible to find. 1965 Dodge Coronet 426 Street Wedge. Dodge was making headlines in the 60s with their race-ready 426 Hemi, but sitting quietly in the shadows was this underappreciated monster, the 426 Street Wedge. With 325 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque, with the standard two-barrel carburetor, this car could go from 0 to 60 in approximately 6.3 seconds and reach a top speed of around 125 miles an hour. No flashy badges, no stripes, just a simple, boxy sedan that could leave Camaros and Mustangs in the rear-view mirror. It was a true example of Dodge's commitment to building high-performance cars that could handle the demands of the open road. The Street Wedge featured a wedge-shaped engine block, one of the first production cars to do so, which allowed for increased power output and improved durability. This innovative design helped to establish Dodge as a leader in the muscle car market. But in a world where power and speed are everything, there's a car that's the ultimate dark horse, and it's a car that's almost unknown to the general public. 1964 Studebaker Superlark R3. This was a supercharged sleeper built for pure speed. With 289 horsepower and 415 foot-pounds of torque, this car could go from 0 to 60 in approximately 5.7 seconds and had a top speed of over 140 miles an hour. Unfortunately, at the time, Studebaker was on its last legs, but this car was proof that they could still build a powerhouse. It remains one of the fastest and rarest four-door muscle cars of the time, a true collector's item for any enthusiast. Featuring a supercharger, one of the first production cars to do so, the R3 had increased power output and improved performance. If ever there was a proper swan song for a company, I would say this was Studebaker's. And of course, we've saved the best for last. Get ready to meet the king of all sleeper cars, a car so legendary, it's almost mythical. 1967 Chevrolet Biscayne 427. And now, meet the king, the 67 Biscayne 427. This car was Chevrolet's budget-friendly full-size sedan, stripped down. No chromes, no fancy features. But if you knew who to ask, you could order it with the L72 427 cubic inch V8, turning it into a street-legal Corvette in disguise. With 390 horsepower and 460 foot-pounds of torque, this car could go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in approximately 6.1 seconds and reach a top speed of around 130 miles an hour. While it may not have been the fastest, it was the ultimate sleeper, a car that looked like a taxi but had the heart of a race car. The '67 Chevy Biscayne was one of the first production cars to feature a COPO, Central Office Production Order option, which allowed customers to order a car with a high-performance engine and other upgrades without the usual restrictions. This innovative program helped to establish Chevy as a leader in the muscle car market. As you can see, these cars prove that looks can be deceiving. From forgotten police interceptors to full-size monsters hiding big block engines, these cars were the true secret weapons of the streets. Mustangs and whatnot may demand attention, but these, they let the horsepower do the talking. But if you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.